with it, in the hood with it. Welcome back to the Collective Clips where you already know. Boom. I'm about to get it in. But before I get it in, let's hit the like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on also. That way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun is kicking. I appreciate all the support. I'm very humbled by it. Thank you. Stop stealing Valor, Wes Watson. There goes his fallopian tube. Just like that. How does D Lucky say? Hey, when you fucking shove something up Wes Watson's asshole and you get the motherfucking jackpot, it's just like that, right? Trip out, man. So I seen Bubba do a video about stolen valor and how Wes Watson is trying to convince people that he's some fucking secret squirrel ninja Navy SEAL. Now, I take that as disrespect. I got a lot of love for our veterans, people that have been in the armed forces, and I understand when someone steals valor, that's not validated, right? They feel like, hey, that's the ultimate disrespect to someone who actually has the dignity and respect and has defended our country to the first and foremost and fullest. I respect that. I never lived that life. I should have lived that life. I had an opportunity to go into the Marines and I Marined up out of there, right? The recruiter was like, come back, come back. I was like, hell no, I won't go. I thought I was tough. I thought I wanted to be a gang member. And a couple days later, I found myself incarcerated, locked up, and then I had no get backs from that. But I do have a nephew that just went into the armed forces the other day, man. He's doing great. He's over there in basic training right now. Head bald, big back, ready to not kick back, right? Because they already put him to work. They got him cleaning all day until it's push-up time. So let's talk about Wes Watson and him stealing valor. This is the new super hooper. The super hooper, quicker picker upper, right? Wes Watson. And people have been roasting him, dissecting him, exposing him, just ripping his whole fucking insides apart. I mean, there's a big tunnel to go into and a lot left in there, allegedly. You know, no Diddy. Did he steal valor? Well, actually, someone who was in the county jail tapped in with me just yesterday and explained to me all about Wes Watson's shenanigans. So Wes Watson likes to tell people that his workout is validated and verified by Navy SEALs. Look, stop it. Stop the cap. I've seen pictures of you and the dad bod way before you started to get the trend cough, right? We all know what it's about. Wes Watson has put in the necessary work to bulk up, but he is not happy with himself. He is a disgruntled employee with himself. He looks in the mirror every day and still sees that fat-gutted WW weirdo white man in the mirror. I'm not even going to say white man, brother, because that's disrespect to real woods, right? Was he even a real Peckerwood? I don't know. One never knows, does one? I think he was just a white man that got locked up and decided, well, I guess I'm going to have to ride wood now, brother, right? And he did that. Can't be mad at him. Ride? I don't know. Claim wood? I guess, right? The Wes Watson story. So I get into a phone conversation with this guy. He actually reached out to me, called me. I vetted him a little bit. Come to find out, he was incarcerated with Wes Watson in the county jail. And he told me, man, Wes Watson talks all this high power shit about he was this big, massive drug dealer. Now I actually know his connect, to be honest with you. Real life, right? He follows my channel quite extensively. So I know Wes Watson about what you had and what you didn't have, right? Paid a homeboy his $33,000 back ASAP. Anyways, stop blocking him. You know, before he has to go tap in with your old lady. Shout! Now, Wes Watson, even back then, this guy tells me he was stealing valor. He had everybody convinced that he was some fucking high-ranking Navy SEAL, that he was actually in the armed forces, that his workout, bar none, was what they did. This is the exact workout he did in boot camp. When we all know Wes Watson was never a fucking Navy SEAL. He was never involved in the armed forces. The closest he got to a recruiting office was selling a nickel bag of weed outside in the parking lot where they had a recruiting office over there, and he got told on. We already know that Wes Watson wasn't doing any of that, but that goes to the narcissism and the person that he is, that he tries to convince people that he was a fucking soldier. Who'd you defend? What you need to do is paint a soldier right here on your asshole and put it right there in front of your butt crack and defend that, because that motherfucker's getting atomic bombed all the time. One hand should be a bomb, the other should be a soldier, and they should do this because he's bombing himself. Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you. When the homeboy told me other stories, so I laughed. You know, talking about exposing Wes Watson and who he is. As a man, I could say, man, there's things I do not agree with. As a person, I could say he's a bad person. As an educated person, he's a slightly educated. I mean, he said some things that are a little never-ending story-ish, but that's his story. I'll let him tell it. But as far as him being a solid wood brother, we've already dispelled that notion. Yes, anyone that gets incarcerated must roll, especially in California, must roll with their people. Does that automatically make you a wood? Does that make you a peckerwood? Does that make you a solid functioning white man, brother? You know, just because you drink coffee and listen to Judas Priest doesn't make you a wood. What makes you a wood is how you conduct yourself with professionalism with your hand and your people, and how you defend your household and your people. I've met some solid woods, brother. Hey, let me tell you, Roach was about as solid as they come. Dwarfwood, I can tell you, is probably more solid than Wes Watson. He thinks he's a sacramaniac. He ain't none of that, but he still thought he was. Maybe he is. I don't know. One never knows. Does one. I'm a sacramaniac. I'm a sacramaniac. He was different. Wes Watson wasn't none of that. Wes Watson was a white guy from San Diego that got locked up because someone burnt him for a pound of weed and he had to go get his weed back. I ain't mad at him for doing what he had to do, right? But we're talking about a pound of weed. I can walk down the street right now and get a pound of weed for $200. Okay, I bet you wasn't even good, bud, either. I'm just saying, you know, these stories, these outlandish stories that he tells people, the way he ridicules people, the way he tells you how to change your life and what you need to do. And if you don't pay the proper amount of money to change your life, then you're just a man with man tits. I don't buy it. And I especially ain't buying the fact that he was a solid shot caller, real peckerwood everywhere he went because he was bigger than everybody else. Because I've seen pictures of Wes Watson fresh out of the county jail and he wasn't as big as he is now. In fact, he has that Rich Piana disease. Rest in peace to Rich Piana. I ain't really got nothing bad to say about him. But when it comes to Rich Piana, we seen his demise in front of us. This motherfucker started to look like fucking Lyle Alzado? Raiders, right? He started to look like fucking Lou Ferrigno in The Incredible Hulk. His shoulders got bigger, and he started just fucking pounding oatmeal, and next thing you know, he had a heart attack. That was that, right? That's what Wes Watson, he's on, that's his course. So if you want to pay the $3,000 to get on that course, you're headed the Rich Piana way. Next thing you know, he's going to have you fucking stuck in a room that's sweating, eating fucking oatmeal online all day. I'm telling you right now, man, Wes Watson is leading himself and all those around him down a path of desolation and destruction. Don't fall into the trap. You know, I seen one guy pay $300 and Wes Watson just kept calling the dude. You know, there's people that pay $20,000 for a phone call with Wes Watson. Ooh, whoop-de-doo, right? They pay 20 racks. And Wes Watson tells him, what the fuck are you calling my phone for, stupid? Hey, listen here. It's not my fault you have tits. Tighten up, right? How's a man with the asshole this big telling people to tighten up? I'll never get it, right? Hey, do as he says, not as he does, I guess, right? But at the same time, the guy that pays $300, Wes Watson stays constantly harassing him, calling him about 5 times a day, trying to convince him to get the $3,000 package because the $300 just ain't going to do it for him. What type of ridiculous shit is that? What type of strong arm bullshit is that? What type of weirdo activity pyramid scheme has he got going on here? I'm not saying he does or he doesn't. I'm just saying, damn, Wes, you had to keep calling him? You have a Lamborghini. Why don't you just cruise over there and see him face to face so you can see how his legs look? We all know Wes Watson is the leg looker. You know, when that guy ran up on him, damn, you got nice legs, brother. You got big old legs. That dude was like, yeah, you's a sucker, bro. He was like, yeah, well, man, how'd you get legs like that? What do you do, bro? Do you do squats or, you know what I mean? He did the Joey Stacks. Hey, you want a girl? You want a girl? I'm not a bully. That's what he did. He backed up like a crawdad. That dude just laughed at him and turned and said, this dude is a sucker fish. Real talk. But worse than that, whether he was a real peckerwood, okay, he got locked up. He ran with the white men, allegedly. We've never seen a white man that was in prison with Wes Watson come to the forefront ever and say he was a shot caller and Wes was calling cuetes and doing all this and that. We've never seen that. What we have seen is papeles, paperwork, saying that Wes Watson wasn't in all these places he says he was. And he wasn't locked up for as long as he said he was. And he didn't parole in the bed of substanding like he said he did. That's what we've seen. Now, whether it fucking changes our day, it doesn't. Still got to pay bills. Still got to go to work. Still got to fucking raise your kids. Wes Watson has no impact on our lives unless we allow him to have impact, but he sure makes for good content making fun of him. I'm just having a good time here. But I want to get serious for a minute. Whether he was or wasn't a Peckerwood, come on, bro. Stop acting like you were built Ford tough when you're nothing but a broke down Pinto with a fucking fucked up paint job and a few muscles. That's it, not muscles, muscles. You know, because trend doesn't, it's different. I'll say this, as far as the stolen valor for the Super Hooper, that's ugly, man. There's so many real people that have defended our country, that have fought, that have bled, that have lost loved ones, that have sacrificed, that have seen their fucking comrades fall right before them. And so many solid woods in prison that have watched their homeboys go out on the yard and put in work for what they believe in for their white people, and have seen them fucking go to the hole and get smashed on and get jumped on. And you sit here and you just throw it up in the air. I was a Navy SEAL. And it's not just something he started saying recently. This guy told me he's been saying this ever since county jail. See, Wes is a narcissist that has convinced himself that truth is only what he says it is. Real talk. If he says something, that's just what the fuck it is, and it doesn't matter what you think or what you say about it. You do not count. Only Wes Watson and his elaborate schemes and his weird ways of thinking count. That's why no chick wants to stay with them. You want to know why? Because he has to look better than she does. They fight. I can only imagine them trying to get ready in the morning, fighting for the fucking mirror. Each one of them looking at who has tighter pants on. Hey, how does my ass look? How does my ass look? She doesn't want to tell him that there's part of his small intestine falling out of the crack of his fucking pants. I digress. We all know what it is with Wes. Let's just be real. He's the Super Hooper. Okay? But stealing valor, that is probably the lowest thing you can do. You can convince and tell all these people that never been to prison, all these fake ass funny stories about how you were a shot caller and you ran the yard and you deboed on people, and the homies did this with me and the homies did that with me. The homies didn't even like you. Because I seen a Southerner on a podcast saying he was locked up with you in Oklahoma, and homie, you was blown out. You wasn't all that. You know, he said, man, that vault was lying. You told stories about a riot you were in that you weren't even on the yard when the riot happened. You talk about people get shot on pinky toes. You're taking their toe away from them. They still got their toe. There's a motherfucker hobbling around right now talking about, man, this motherfucker said I got my pinky toe shot off. When did that happen? He's wiggling his shit in front of him. You got people convinced and believing that your stories are true when they're not. They're fables. You know, tales from the dark side. Or wait up. Strike that, reverse it. Tales from the white side. Only the white guys don't like you. It's crazy, right? But I think the lowest thing Wes Watson has ever done, besides burning people for their money, yelling at them, screaming, saying the N-word, doing all these different things he's done online, beating up on women allegedly, all these different things, okay, that people have said he's done. I don't know if he's done it or not. Kicking it with P. Diddy. That we've seen with our own eyes. My life is like a movie. I'm getting invited to a Diddy party. Damn, homie. Last wood that I ever remembered that was a solid Peckerwood shot caller would have snatched Diddy up by his motherfucking insides and did something bad to him. Okay? Even if there's no paperwork on Diddy, he's not even going to chance it, brother. That motherfucker's darker than my shade of coffee. Right? And that's it. It would have been on and cracking. But no, Wes Watson went in that donut shop and ordered Diddy and his boyfriend both a bagel. Con un pinche cream cheese, huh? Hey, Daddy, man, can you look at me? This is me. I'm a famous YouTuber. Yeah, you want to work out? You want to work out? Yeah, Diddy wants to work out inside you. And I'm sure, you know, after that camera stopped rolling, that's the conversation I wish I was the cucaracha on the wall in Holy Moly Donut Shop, and I wish I could have heard. Because imagine how that conversation went. I'm really a big fan, brother. Yeah, really. The more money we come across, the more problems we see. Definitely. The only thing is, it's not your money. It's money that you're taking from hardworking people with your bamboozling ass fucking seminars you're giving, talking about, you're a fat ass. It's crazy. I'm just being real. This is what Wes Watson does. The octave that he hits you with, man, is subsonic. Hey, I'm telling you, you need to go ride with Putin because he's going to need you to drop an atomic bomb. Hopefully we all know he has somewhere to put it. This is the truth here. Out of all the riffraff shit he has done, the worst thing he has done is stolen valor. You're not or never have been a Navy SEAL. Just because you do some Navy SEAL look-alike push-ups doesn't make you a Navy SEAL. You have not defended our country. You're an ex-convict just like me. And if anything, we owe the people in society and the communities a lot. Okay, we've taken from our communities. You weren't out there defending our people. You were selling marijuana to our people. You weren't on the yards taking care of your people. You were on the yards trying to fucking hoop fucking things. And you were fucking abusing yourself and telling people what they could and could not do, allegedly. We all know that's not true. But I'm saying according to what you've said, this is how it went. Stealing valor is probably the lowest thing a person can do in the United States of America, because you need to take our armed forces serious. See, I got a baby mama that was in the Army, and I respect the shit out of her more than she even knows. You know, we're not together, of course. That's the way the fucking world works, right? You guys don't see eye to eye at all together. But she just doesn't know how much tremendously I respect her for doing what she did for the country and being the type of mother she is, right? I do. I just keep it real. You know, she learned structure. She learned how to fucking respect authority. She learned how to respect everyone and how not to take for granted life in general. Wes Watson doesn't care about all that. He wants you to pull up and fucking throw hands with them. He wants to get prison tattoos on his back of his head on the streets. He wants to look the look, but doesn't want to get it shook, right? He doesn't want to walk the walk. He wants to talk the talk. And he's so good at doing that, he has a lot of people confused and really honestly believing that he's the man, when really he's not the man. He's the hand up his own ass. It's crazy. He's like a puppet. He goes like this. When he talks, he's a trip. But he's been doing this for a long time now. So Bubba, if you want to use a part of my video to go ahead, more power to you. But I will say this, Wes Watson, I talked to one of your partners. He's not even your friend, but he was just in the county with you, and he's a white man, brother. And he told me straight up, oh, I got a lot more stories about you, bro. We just ain't got enough time today. I got to go pay bills, but I'm going to be real with you. This guy was saying he was a Navy SEAL when he was incarcerated. Show us the paperwork on that, Wes. Was that before or after you got caught up with just a measly old pound of weed? Let me tell you a story about 3 pounds of weed I came up on. One time I hit a lick. I'm not going to tell you too much details because law enforcement watches this. I'm sure Wes Watson will send them my way, right? And I didn't even like this shit. I don't even like weed. Don't smoke it. None of that shit. And I had a brother-in-law. I'll say a brother-in-law. It was one of my ex's old man, right? She probably did have an old man there too. It was her brother. He was a straight pothead, right? And so I said, fuck, I'm going to fuck with him one day. I didn't like him. I didn't like him because he was a lazy pothead. I tried to get him a job. He was like, oh, I can't work with you because I'll get a headache, right? He was all weirded out. Come to find out later on, we found out he abused some kids, so he was weird, right? But anyways, I digress on that, and I say this to say that, or say that to say this. I, like the fucking asshole I am, took these 3 pounds of weed that I came up on that one of the homeboys brought me after he was done trimming it and everything. And after I broke him off his issue, I took these 3 pounds. We lived in an apartment complex. I went out into the middle of the apartment complex, dumped them, started stomping them and pissing on them right there. Meanwhile, that dude's just sitting there all sad, right? And his sister's looking at me like, why are you doing that? Because I can. I was on my Wes Watson shit because I can, right? Look, Wes, stop lying to people. Stop manipulating. Stop hurting people's feelings, right? Stop doing what you're doing, because at the end of the day, what goes up must come down. You know, I remember the park bench fucking Wes. Remember park bench Wes? When he had just the hair right here was peeled back? When he was a little bit thinner and he was fucking cocked to the side all on swole, spitting everywhere? Spitting Wes. You know what I mean? Super Hooper spitting Wes. Do you remember? He used to tell some good stories. Fables. You know, lies. But they were at least halfway decent to listen to. They were funny because I was like, there ain't no fucking way, right? But still, he conducted himself and his mannerisms were all right. He got a little bit of money. This motherfucker didn't know how to act. This motherfucker turned into, who's that fucking, he turned into Orlando Brown right before our eyes. That motherfucker got a little bit of paper and changed, all right? Wes Watson's the super hooper. Stop stealing valor, though. Stop telling people you were a Marine or you were a Navy SEAL. Because, hey, the closest you ever got to the Navy was that dude you met at a bar that just got discharged, man, that I too went up in you. That's it. That's the closest you ever get. The closest you ever got to being a Navy SEAL was your old lady dressed like an otter and you dressed like a seal for the company fucking picnic. That's it. The Halloween picnic. She was the otter, you were the seal. She ought to have been with me because I'd have really told her how a seal performs. That's it. I would have been that motherfucker like, Anyways, man, Super Hooper Wes. Tap in. If you want to go fucking watch him and listen to his program, realize that it's going to cost you an arm, 2 legs, your fucking whole intestines and everything, because he's going to have you doing some foul shit. And he's going to have you believing that he's a Navy SEAL because he could do 10 push-ups. Only 10! I seen him do 20. That motherfucker was gasping for breath. There's not a Navy SEAL on earth, 75 years old, that can't do at least 20 push-ups. Wes, stop lying to everyone. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in. And that's having fun with Wes Watson. But you wouldn't do that in his face, gun. Nah. You know, he has that exactly face. What's the exactly face? His face look exactly like his ass. The gun.